guys, welcome back to my craft room and back to Crafty Christmas. So again, today is going to be a little different. I wanted to do another tutorial style for you all. We are making some large envelopes because these are perfect for gift giving. And I know that quite a few things can go in there, and a lot of us are going to be mailing out Christmas gifts, or even just happy mail. So I thought these would be a perfect addition to Crafty Christmas. Of course, you can use any kind of paper you would love. I am doing a Winnie the Pooh set today, but I have done princesses, I've done Star Wars, I've done Mickey Mouse, I've done Minnie Mouse, I've done, oh my gosh, I did a gem one. One of the things I do recommend is you use a kind of thinner paper, so not quite cardstock, but not quite printer paper. I find that that kind of thinner Hobby Lobby paper works wonderful. You could even do a little step up if you wanted a little bit more not security, but durability, I guess. So what you're going to do is start out with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. You could do any pattern, you could do whatever you want. There is a little snafu that I have come across and have to work around, so I'm going to share my process with you on that one, because sometimes you don't want to cover up your image. So see, this one has an image down at the bottom. So all you're just going to do is really turn the page until you find where you want your image to lay. So what you're going to do is first look at your measurements, what you're going to be scoring. So the first one is going to be 3. So if I take my line here, that's going to cut right into Pooh. If I flip it over, which our other measurement is going to be 8 3/4, that's an okay line. I'm going to flip it again and see 3. Okay, that cuts Pooh's head off. So maybe we won't be doing that one. Let's see. I think, did we do this one? So I'm thinking our best bet. Let me check this 8 3/4. Okay, I think we're going to do, let me get my scoreboard down here since you didn't even see that, but if you look at 8 3/4, I think that's going to be the best way to cut him in half, essentially. So our measurements are going to be 3. Oops. You don't want to press too hard because your paper is thinner than normal cardstock, and you don't want to perforate it because this is going in the mail. You want it to be as durable as you can be without being, because if you get too thick of a piece of paper, it's going to crack. So you want to have the thinner paper, but you still want it to be durable. Alright, and then 8 3/4 is going to be our other line. And then we're going to flip it. And then on this side, we're going to do 1 inch. Flip it to the other side, so top and bottom of your page are going to be 1 inch. So let's look at the score lines here. You're going to have your 3 inch, then you're going to have your big section here, and then you're going to have your 8 3/4 inch, and then on top and bottom you have your 1 inches. Actually, I'm going to leave that out. So this is kind of the most complicated part because it's nitty-gritty. You have to decide really measurement-wise, but it's not measurement-wise, it's eyeballing. So what I do is take that 1 inch here and cut all the way until your 3 inch. scoring mark. And then you're going to do an angle cut right up to where you just ended your score, or your other cut on your score line. So again, we're going to do it 4 times. So you can see here, there is our score line, and then there is our 8 3/4 score line. Our 1 and our 8 3/4 meet up. So you're going to cut along that 1-inch score line. I try to go a little above the score line if I can. And then stop right at the 8 3/4. Turn it, because it's a lot easier to do it this way. And you're going to come into this big section here of your 1 inch. Decide where you want your angle to be, because you kind of want your angles to match. But you can always go in and fix it a little bit, so don't worry too much. And then you angle right into where your score lines meet. And you can also put your ugliest looking one on the bottom, so you don't have to worry too much. I'll show you a little bit better when we get to that point. And then you can also save your little 1-inch rectangles for some other crafting project. Maybe some pocket letters or something. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and fold in our score lines. Give them a pretty good varnish there. Give them a good rub down. And then your little flaps here. Make sure they line up. Okay, so now you're going to see one flap is a little bit bigger, and then one flap is a little bit smaller. You can decide, see if I do this one, it's going to cover up that honey pot. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the honey pot on top. So it looks like I can make my adhesive line up to that point, but you could go a little smaller just in case. If you do go over a little bit, which I probably will, I'll show you what I end up doing. And then give it a good rub, just to make sure that your adhesive is, you know, staying on there. So if you get some excess, which you probably will, some excess adhesive, if it's a tape runner, all you have to do is just move your finger on top of it and just keep rubbing, and eventually it'll peel off. So then I can just rub my finger along the edge here and make sure that there's no adhesive sticking out there. They even have like erasers or something, and basically it does the same thing as your finger. It just gives it some friction and it rubs off. But you really don't want that extra adhesive on there, especially if you're going to be mailing it out. So now is the time that you can go ahead and decide which end is your prettiest end. Normally what ends up happening is my bottom is typically the one that doesn't look as good. But a lot of times I do go ahead and close the bottom anyway, because my images, or my envelopes, do have images. Now this one, it would have been fine Well, I mean, it does have a bottom per se, but it would have been fine to flip it. But because this one does have the image there at the bottom, I do kind of want to have that one closed. It doesn't really matter. So if your other end looks prettier, then go ahead and, So I'm just going to put some adhesive on my bottom flap there, bring it up, give it a good rub. And then if you wanted to, it's an extra step, you could add some removable adhesive on there. But I find people are going to just be using packaging tape anyway, or even a sticker, and it's not really necessary. Looks like I have a little bit of a corner edge here popping out. I can just trim that off. So that is our large envelope, which will be perfect for gifting and also for mailing. So here are our envelopes. I do like to do a little pack sometimes. If I'm giving them as a gift, I will put them in a pack of 4 of kind of the same theme of whatever the person likes. And then I will make a little label and just tie it on with some baker's twine. You could do ribbon, doesn't really matter. But just package it up real nice and cute. And then they can use it as gift wrap or even just for snail mail. But here are my envelopes. I like to leave some room just in case they do actually want to mail it, and then do my images on the back. But of course, that's preference. I mean, so here's that one. I love this one. It's so cute. This one you probably will have to use some white paper if they are going to mail. Oh, excuse me. If they are going to mail it out because it's a little busy. And then here is this one. With a little poo there. And it says, a thing which seemed very thingish. So those are the large envelopes. Very easy to make, very versatile in what you're going to be able to use them with, and I love that. I've sent a few pocket letters with these, and I believe they come out very nicely. I mean, of course, I can't really tell too well, because unless I sent one to myself, but I mean, they are practically the same as like a manila envelope that you would use normally for pocket letters and whatnot. So they feel just about the same, maybe even a little sturdier. Because it depends on the paper you use. And you could even do double-sided, and then they can have a little surprise there on the inside. If you are giving them as a gift, you could do a little pack of stickers to go with it for some envelope seals or whatever. Or that they could just put down here in the corner of whenever they send it out. Or yeah, so many options with this one, and I think they are just so cool that I had to share them with you for Crafty Christmas. So I hope you guys are having a crazy, a good crazy, not bad crazy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.